tech professionals, welcome back to another series on how to use the Amazon leadership principles to help you get hired with technology companies. As a former Amazon recruiting leader and trainer, I will be walking you through on preparing for your upcoming job interviews with answering behavioral questions around insist on the highest standards. If you stay with me until the end, I'll be sharing my personal experience as well as an insider tip from a current GM at Amazon on his take into how he structured the 14 leadership principle in helping you pass your job interview. If this is a first time meeting, my name is Holly. I'm the founder of the Career Accelerator Masterclass, where I helped tech leaders regain their confidence, define their values and purpose into getting the right job. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you won't miss my weekly training and Q&A. As a commitment to my LinkedIn network and job seekers, I've been releasing a LinkedIn live broadcast weekly on my top leadership principle to help you be 100% prepared to land that dream job. If you've missed my first 5 series on how to use the Amazon leadership principle using customer obsession, ownership, deliver results, think big and dive deep, be sure to check that series out, and everything we talked about along with its resources will be in the description below. This is how Amazon defines insist on highest standards. Leaders have relentlessly high standards. Many people may think these standards are unreasonably high. Leaders are continually raising the bar and driving their teams to deliver high quality products, services, and processes. Leaders ensure that defects do not get sent down the line and that problems are found so they can stay fixed. In the words of David Anderson, a GM at Amazon, I've actually reached out to him. He's a blogger who has been a leader at Amazon for a decade or so. With his permission, of course, he share his work to the viewer, which is all of you guys who have expressed interest in getting a job with Amazon as well as tech companies, okay? In the words of David Anderson, a GM at Amazon, the principle is tied heavily to the ownership principle. If you're an owner, do you want things to be low quality? If you're an owner, would you be embarrassed or proud of the quality you're delivering? In the same way, we expect our leaders to be proud owners of the things they own, and as such, insist on standards that everyone, including themselves, should struggle to meet. This is the reason why Amazon is the most innovative company in the world with a countless number of products and services across multiple verticals. Amazon's goal is not just to meet their business objectives, but to continually seek opportunities to make it better, faster, and more efficient for the customers. Ultimately, this is one of the primary reasons that a lot of the big players, as well as startups, are using similar to the exact leadership principle in measuring their candidates. You can find a lot of articles and information on the 14 leadership principles by simply Googling it. Go directly on the Amazon website under the career section. And also my favorite would be diving deep in your research on Glassdoor. And if you haven't had the opportunity to check out my interview strategies playlist, I actually walk you through a number of different scenarios on how you can find behavioral questions and answer by using Glassdoor. So go check that out. I'll leave the link up here. Drop me a comment. I love to hear how you define obtaining a high bar in your workplace. Now that you have a better understanding of what insists on the highest standards, let's take a look at the commonly asked behavioral interview questions and my best strategies on answering them. Let's start. Tell me about the most innovative thing you've done and why you thought it was innovative. Tell me about a time where you were able to make something significantly simpler for customers. What drove you to implement this change? And lastly, describe a challenging problem to a solution in which the usual approach wasn't going to work. What were you able to take? And lastly, describe a challenging problem or situation in which the usual approach. And lastly, describe a challenging problem. Lastly, describe a challenging problem or situation in which the usual approach was not going to work. Why were you able to take the usual approach? As mentioned in my previous videos, there are many different ways to ask the same questions. Employers like to mix things up to not be redundant and often not sound exactly the same thing as Amazon's interview questions. But in the end, they're all pretty much the same. Many of you have asked me for concrete interview answers to your question. Please note that every interviewer has their own style. Let me explain. Companies have a list of interview questions to help the hiring team prepare to ask questions that are relevant to the specific role and team. For experienced interviewers, they don't really feel the need to follow the guideline or the question bank. And a lot of the employers, if not all of them, should have that, including you that are watching right now. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. Here's a bonus tip. Everything that I have instructed for you to help you create a strong storytelling, go download and follow my free guide step by step on using the STAR methods to create storytelling to tackle those behavioral questions, and how you can implement my 60-second elevator pitch template so that you don't talk more than a minute to answer your questions. Unless you're maybe an executive or have really compelling examples that will knock the interviewer's socks off, sure, you can go up to 2 minutes, but no more than that. And make sure you keep the remainder or rest of the questions for 60 seconds or less, because you really don't want to put the interviewers to bed, okay? Because they will get bored. I am constantly receiving messages from tech professionals asking me to provide an answer for them specifically for the role they are interviewing for and reviewing their credentials, which is the resume and LinkedIn profile. There are several ways that I could coach you around that. The first thing is I run a live broadcast right here on my LinkedIn profile, and I will be doing something similar over my YouTube channel where it's simply just Q&A. So be sure, if you haven't already, hit that notification so you will be sent a reminder or status update when I do run live training, and they're all free. Okay? Did I mention free? Lastly, you can join my Patreon page, and I'll leave that link below as well, where I'll send you a personal message responding to your questions. All right? Keep in mind, professionals, my career strategies and tips are not just to help you get a job with Amazon, but really to any company, any industry that you may be in. Okay? So don't think that just because I'm using the 14 leadership principle, it's targeting or just very specifically on big tech companies. All right? In general, employers measure to see if you are better than at least 50% of the workforce with your skills, okay? It's the only way for the organization to continue hiring top performers to help meet the deliverables that would scale for long-term growth. If you've enjoyed my content, be sure to give me a thumbs up and share with those who are going through struggles in their current role and who's seeking for a different opportunities. Okay, this will help them start by creating their answer to tackle those famous behavioral questions before they even have an interview scheduled. And in general, and here's the ultimate tip, do not spend the last couple days preparing for an interview that's going to take place like literally the following day or 2 days later. You need at least 2 weeks to prep for an on-site interview, at least several days to prep for a technical phone interview or a phone interview, okay? And if you guys have any questions or specifically on any of the leadership principle or how you can prep for a technical phone screen or an on-site interview, leave me a comment. Let me know your questions. I'll get back to you. Have a great one. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.